Hey there, how y'all doing? Good afternoon or good evening. It's good to see y'all. I'm not sure if I'm live yet or not. I actually was trying to test and I think it went straight live. So let me see. Yeah, it's good to see y'all. Nice to see y'all. How y'all doing? Give me just a minute. I'm going to do a pop out chat. Good to see y'all. Let's see if I can do this. I can pop out. Alright, here. Here, and let me come back to here and do this. And here. If when I have to re-input the stream key, um, it changes my settings where I'll go live when as soon as I hit it in OBS instead of clicking it in YouTube too. So good to see y'all. How y'all tonight? Um, Good to see you, Joe. Dwight, great to see you. Todd was in the house earlier. Dave B, NSFN Scale, great to see you. John B, SRV, John, good to see you. Hey, Chuck, Randall, glad to have y'all here with us for Sidetrack Sunday. Steven's in the house. Got the number one there. And Norman Rowe, great to see you. Norman, how you been, man? How you been? JD's in the house. I see up there now. I'm glad I looked back up. Joe Raider, great to see you, Joe. DB Tech David, thanks for coming, David. Let's see, make sure I don't miss anybody. I know I said hey to Dwight. JD's in the house. Great to see you, JD. And Sparky's here. Good to see you, Sparky. What's going on? New Haven Rails, Stormy Sky. Great to see y'all. All right. And there's Bob. Thanks for joining us, Bob. I appreciate y'all being here because I kind of need some help tonight. I got a lot of stuff to think through. And what's going on with me is because the shed's getting older and I'm in a position where I'm going to have to either invest a pretty good bit of money down in the shed for structurally, there's nothing wrong with that. I might do that anyway. But I've also got to invest some money in tortoises because there's a lot of turnouts I can't reach down there. And so I'm kind of deciding that I might go ahead and move or begin building a new layout up here in the garage. And I've got some really cool opportunities with the space that I have here and the adjacent space for staging and things like that. And so I wanted to show y'all a little bit about it tonight. And so without further ado, I think what I'm going to do first, I'm going to come over here and change a couple things. We are on the slideshow over here, but over here we're on this. Okay, so give me just a second. I want to turn this off. And what is this there? I want to turn that off too. That's not that, is it? Yeah. Alright. Alright. It's gonna be, Bob. Good question. And we're gonna talk a little bit about that. Hey, Beaumont, good to see you. Dundas, great to see you too. Steve 87th PSAP, great to have you, guy. We understand, Steve. Hopefully everything's alright with that. But so I'm going to switch over to this one real quick and just show you a part of this. No, Dave, there might be there might be one little like T-loop, but no, we're not going to have to do any of that. This is going to be a little bit more functional, Dave, a little bit more mature, and like I say, I'm excited about a couple. Hey, Rail Artist, great to see you. It is worth something. We thank you for saying something. It is worth something. It was good to see you. Hey, Russ, how you doing? How's it going? So I'm gonna transition here for y'all and show y'all this. So what you're looking at right now is what you've been looking at over here. Let me show you this again real quick. So Tinkercad at the top right corner is the Tinkercad version of the first part of the layout. This is one wall, and basically the to the right of the tables in the top right corner would be the door coming in, and I'm going to show you more about that. But basically, on the right hand side of the screen, you've got a Tinkercad version of the tables. Below that, you've got the actual picture of the tabletops laying in the garage right now. I don't have the any of the other wood or anything. I just got the tabletops to lay in there so I could see how all this fit. And so this is just one side, one wall right here. Down here at the bottom, well, give us a sec. We're not done. Down here at the bottom, this is one wall of it. And that's all we're going to do. We're doing one wall at a time, and then we'll be able to turn it around and bring it back this way, and then I'll be able to extend it and build off the other direction. The same way I did the current layout. But down here at the bottom, the very bottom, you can actually see the first just main line is where it'll lay in comparison to these tables and these visuals above. So you can kind of see sketched out where the main line will be down there. There's a lot of other stuff going on that we're going to be talking about, but yeah, yeah, it was an adventure, Dave. I agree. That was fun, man. I had a great time doing that. But so what I need to do actually is figure out over here if I can find my other stuff. Is it here? Okay, here we go. I want to do this. So hey, great to see you, Ray. So what I've got now is I'm going to switch over here and I'm going to show you this. Okay, so top right is the layout that's going to be where the tables are down at the bottom. You see the actual tables at the bottom on the ground, the tabletops. The top, very top, is the main line of where that's going to lay on that. Over here to the left is the entire garage. Somebody mentioned the layout was pretty short. So what we're looking at here is the top is what you see on the tables laid on the ground out there, the wooden tables on the ground. The top up here is what you see. These tables 1, 2, and forgive me, that's really light. Tables 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 is what we actually have on the ground right now. All right, in the garage. And that's what we have planned for the first little part of the layout and the first little run. And so what it's going to do is it's going to come to table 7 and turn around and go back down to tables 1 and 2 and turn around. In the beginning, it is going to be a very short layout. And we'll still have the other one running downstairs for a while too. So what we're going to talk about in more detail, though, is what I want to show you before we move on to the details within the first 8 tables. Is as you can see, it's going to basically the space is 19 going left to right. It's 19 feet, and going up and down, it's 18 feet. All right. So what you're looking at is we've got 18 2 by 4 tables, 2 foot by 4 foot tables, and then you're going to have a pull out here in the bottom right corner because there's a hot water heater in that very bottom right corner. Hey James, and then it's going to come into a full size sheet of plywood or whatever. It's going to be about 2.5 or 3 feet by 8 here, and see what's going to be under that. On the right hand side there, on the very far right hand side, where that'll be Winter Park up there, but the computer and stuff will be under that, or the 3D printers or whatever we'll have in there. We'll just have to see. But that's going to be up high enough to get a seat under it, I hope. And so we're not going to have a ton of transition, but let me get back over to, so let's go back to this here. And so I'll start. I think this will start if I do this. I got like a slideshow. Oh yeah. So what this should do, I think we're going to have a little slideshow playing now, if I'm not mistaken. And maybe, if I do it like this, it might. Here we go. So here's the picture that we were looking at in the bottom right hand corner earlier. This is the tables laid out. Here's just a different view of it from outside of the garage looking in. Here's the Tinkercad view of it. And then here's the view of, I need to flip that. Let me do this. That's going to be hard for me to do here. This is upside down, everybody. Over here, this is what y'all been looking at has been flipped. This is the Union Station area, and this is going to be like the Layton area. So this picture is flipped. Forgive me for that. I changed it in all the other ones. This one we don't want to talk about yet. That one we don't want to talk about yet. Alright. So what I'm thinking, everybody, on these, and I would like to hear more of your opinion. We're going to talk about the actual track and the layout and stuff, more of that coming up in a bit. You did get a quick little glimpse there, if you caught it, of this area that's, if you see, we have this one area in here that's 4x6. And see, we're actually going to have 3 of those areas on here. Top right tables 4, 5, and 6 is going to be a 4 foot by 6 foot area that we'll be able to do ops in. Over here you got tables, well, piece of 9, 10, 11, and 12. That's going to be a 4 foot by 6 foot area that we'll be able to do some ops in. And over here at 15, 17, 16, and 18 tables, we're going to also have a 4 foot by 6 foot area to do ops in. So we'll have, like, Union Station will be up in the top right in tables 1 and 2. And I'm going to show you a little bit about how I've got an idea for that as well. Now, then the tables 5, 3, 4, 5, and 6 up there top right, which we're actually looking at right here, the middle of this main screen. Alright, that's the Golden Arvada area, and my friend SRV John has come up with an amazing plan in there that we're going to talk about, given that we have plenty of time. I'm going to try to save plenty of time to talk about that area right there. And then as we come on over, I've got to determine exactly which 2 towns I'm going to model here and here. I would assume that this will probably be Rollinsville or something like that. And over here in the middle, I have not decided yet exactly which town I'm going to model. I'm kind of trying to figure out what, you know, I'll have a lot of industries in one, mines in the other type deal. More of a town commercial area in some of them and industrial in the others. We'll just have to see what kind of happened in the 1950s in those areas. And so what we'll be doing is, I think what I'm going to do is, and I would like to know exactly what y'all think about this, is there are 4 2x4 foot tables that are going to be against the wall. And my thinking is I'm going to do 2x4s against the wall, and those tables that are going to be against the wall and can be attached to the wall, I'm going to attach them to the wall with angle supports. 2x4s to hold the angle supports and have angle supports coming in to hold them up, have no legs going to the floor on those tables that connect to the wall. Would like to know what I set them to as high as they would go, 30, 28 minutes or something, so I don't know why y'all be seeing them now. Yeah, because they asked me how many minutes I wanted, and I picked the very last one. So sorry if y'all get a bunch of commercials. You shouldn't be seeing one yet. It's 11 minutes in. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh, I don't know. Okay, so I'm curious. I figure for N-scale, those would be fine. But what I'm going to have to do on these tables that extend out, for example, the table 1 or 2, this one out here on the bottom right, and then you've got these 2 that stick out here, and then of course 8. So I've got 4 tables out here that won't touch the wall in this photo. Alright, these 4 closest to us won't touch the wall. So I'm actually gonna have to do legs. Well, I'm only going to go for it's only going to be 2 feet out. Those tables that are against the wall are going to be 4 feet running against the wall, 2 feet coming out. And I was just thinking to save myself from having to build a frame and everything like that, and 4 legs. Well, yeah, 4 legs with braces all the way around the bottom for all those. I thought that I could probably save myself a lot of materials and time and trouble. To just have them in angle brackets against the wall like that, or not angle brackets, but angle supports. Probably maybe 1x4s or something, and have like maybe 3 per every 4 foot section in there. Have a 2x4. Okay, yeah, only 2 feet, and it's in scale too, Sparky. So, and now nobody should be leaning on it, hopefully, or climbing on it, and so to include cats. But yeah, possibly. And then what I was thinking is, I am going to have to do legs on the other tables, obviously. And so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to get my indoor-outdoor carpet in there before I do match the tables that have the legs to the tables that are against the walls. So I got a little bit of work to do. One of the things I'm kind of finding out is the closer I feel like I get to maybe starting this deal, the more I figure out I'm further away. Bob mentioned the climate support. We are fortunate. I'm going to be coming into a time of the year in the next 6 weeks where I don't really require air conditioning or heating for several months, and heating would be easy out there, whatever I need, because it's never too extreme or too much. And hey, Wild Bill. And then space heaters are a dime a dozen. What's more difficult is to actually cool the area. And so what I would be looking at is next year around April, I would be needing to do something in regard to keeping the place cool. And so that'll be something that's going to have to be looked into. Another thing that I haven't mentioned yet that's kind of cool and fortunate is if you look directly above the first table, if you look up about 3 feet above the very first table in the middle on the right hand side, that's right, Bob, we're looking forward to another one. Hopefully it'll ever happen again, because man, that was great. But I watched that the other day, matter of fact. It was last weekend on Saturday or Sunday. I pressed play and watched that and just let that whole 10-hour snow stream play and watched my yard fill up with snow because it was so hot or something one day. Anyway, so what's kind of exciting is on that top right table up there that's going to be against the wall where Union Station and the yard for the north yard will be close to there, about 3 feet up. If you punched a hole in that wall right there, which I can and probably will, it's going to come right through that closet that is directly, I just touched the closet, right? That wall comes straight through here for staging. So, hey, Colonel Cotton Belt. So what I'll be doing is I'll be able to stage in here, right? Pull the train from here through here out into Union Station and down into the main line. Now that's way down the road, and I don't even know if I live in this house that long, but it'll be fun to get near there or move in that direction. Another thing I'm kind of excited about is I get to a whole lot of new buildings and stuff I get to design and print. Paint all the edges for the stability of the wood. Alright. And so, to be a little more, let's go back. I don't really know what I was wanting to see next. Go here. And here. Here. And I got this backwards too. I hate that. See, on this slideshow, on the other one I'm able to transform each photo by themselves, and I'm not able to do that on this one. Alright, so let me go back to a better picture. Alright, okay, here. So top right, 2 tables. What my idea for this is really crude, and we're going to be moving past this one pretty quickly. But what my idea for this is would be, how do I get this looking like that? I'm opposite. Yep, I'm not going to be able to flip it for y'all, but it's upside down. But basically, it'd be. I hate trying to do this. All right, so I'm just going to have Union Station in there up front, in the front of that, near to the left of those 2 tables, first 2 tables, with some lines running around it. This little thing over here is where it would go into the wall eventually and go to staging. And then a little ladder. So basically, I am Bill. So basically, the top right corner up there is where I'm going to be having Union Station. So let's see, we'll do this here, back to here. So tables 1 and 2 up there will be Union Station. 3 will be Denver's North Yard against that wall. So I'm going to have like a ladder against that wall up there. The very, very top of table 3 would be like a little ladder. Alright. We'll come into tables 4, 5, and 6, which is Arvada, and that gets me to the good stuff here. So, here we go. Here we go. Alright. Y'all check this out. So, I don't know if this is big enough. John, will you kind of give me some guidance? How well can y'all see that? I'm looking through the studio, so I only see it at about 3 inches by 2 inches, or maybe, 3.5 by 2.5. So it's kind of small for me. The folks at home able to see that graphic pretty good? Good. So, great. What this would be right here, everybody, is, let me see if I can get back to here. Or here. This would be good. Alright, real quick. Alright, so that's an upside down version, which I'm going to fix that because I can't. So what we're looking at is tables 4, 5, and 6, and this is the Golden Arvada area. And what happened here is John... Wait, I can't do that because it's in the slideshow. Wait, it sure is. I can't do that. Doggone it. I can't flip it. Let me stop it. Alright, so basically what we got here, and I'm going to just kind of show this. If you... the wall is at the bottom. Okay, what we've been looking at is we've been facing the wall. Now we're basically got the wall on the bottom, and the part that we've been facing is at the top now. So this is where those 2 tables end, right here at the very top where this comes around. So the left hand side would be, the inside left hand side would be the westbound line that is going to run from Denver, from Union Station, towards Winter Park, west. Okay, so this will come in, this is table 3 on the left coming in, and so the train is going to come in. And so what John did is I asked John to help me, because in the last time I streamed, I tried to do an op up there at Winter Park at my layout, but it's, what spurs and stuff I do have that work, I should say, because if all of them worked, it'd be a little bit better, but the ones that I have that are functional kind of get repetitive. So I asked him, I was like, what can we do, to help me with something for the Denver, the Arvada Golden area that's not repetitive? And he went to work, man. He came up with something cool. This thing's great. And I got to show y'all, we even have, look at here. I've even got the turnouts that are needed. Now, I'm not able to read that, but I can normally. But I think y'all can. At the top there, he's got all the Pico track pieces that were used. And I think he used the free version of AnyRail on this, if I'm not mistaken. And then down here at the bottom are all the actual Pico turnouts that I'm going to need to get in order to do this particular design. But man, I tell y'all, y'all take a look at this. I mean, the stuff you can do with this is just, it's like, I was trying to figure out how we could even go through this to see, and I don't know. You got, I wish you could come on and describe it, but I'm not in StreamYard, and I wouldn't want to put you on the spot anyway. But I did want to thank John very much for doing this. I don't know the best way. Like, look, he's even got the paved roads in here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to follow this model. And, I mean, there's just so many. The options are limitless. I've yet to find a way to get stuck in this thing. And I've tried. And, I mean, it is very... I look very cool. Like I say, I don't know if I can build it, John. Well, you know, it is going to be a very slow process, but I have no problem with that. But yeah, the fact that you know, this is going to be set up where I'll be able to do a continuous loop. You know, this I'll be able to do a continuous loop all the way around, just like I have now. It'll stop at the first place I'll stop is at table 7. I'll do a turnaround there, just like I have at the Gross Reservoir right now, and then I'll come down to table 13, and I'll do another turnaround there. And we'll have another big op section and stuff to be built there in that area. And the thing is, what should be able to happen, I'm curious how John answered this question too. Because I saw the question and I want to know what he had to say. Let me see. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. But, you know, Dave, you mentioned helixes and stuff. We're going to try to stay away from all that if I can help it. I mean, I do want plenty of I'm going to do some tunnels and stuff like that. But I would like to kind of keep it more on the ground. And oh, I know. So I have some questions written down for y'all, too. I wish I would like to have and I might do another video on this. What I would like to do is kind of work my way through some of these routes better, but it's really hard for me to see it right now, to be honest. So we talked about the angles against the walls and then connecting the tables. Elevation. I want to talk to y'all about elevation real quick. What are we talking about? The yellow building? Beaumont, we would not at all. The purpose of us coming on here and talking about this is I'm probably 2-3 months, if not longer, than actually doing the interior of these tables and that. And so what I would like for anybody and everybody that's willing to take the time to do it is to work on. See, I gave John a puzzle, and boy, he solved it, or he made a bigger one. But that's a puzzle there. I get that. And if y'all feel like and y'all want to go through there and look at it and see if y'all can troubleshoot and come up with something, or if y'all get some ideas or suggestions, we would love to hear them. Sure would, Beaumont. Yeah, I would love to, because the thing is, it's impossible. I mean, I have tried to find. I haven't found any issues with it, but I'm not very skilled in this stuff, um, compared to most people, but or some people. But um, I haven't found any issues in there. But it's probably impossible for there not to be a couple. You know what I mean? With all those connections and all that's got going on, I would think that there'd have to be something that maybe John didn't think of. With there's 973 variables in there, so yeah. That now this area, did you say is that MTS for mountains? What's MTS stand for, Dave? Oh, okay. Well, the I tried to do it, and what I came up with was going to be grossly, like, ridiculously repetitive, just like the ones that I have. Even though I had all that space, I needed some help, and so I asked him to make it a maze, and he sure did it. I thank him. I mean, I'm thoroughly impressed. I mean, I just, it, I mean, the roads, the way he came up with the roads too, the paved roads, that just looks amazing to me, and it makes sense too, which is crazy. But um, it does have some cross, but it's not excessive, and yeah, I mean, I think it's really due to track planning. So that's why I'm gonna get mine off Google Maps. Yeah, when you say off, hey Kyle, how's it going, man? Good to see you. And yeah, I definitely think Pico track. Um, I feel like I would be pretty limited. I would love to. I don't know that I could afford the Unitrack, but I also feel like I'd be hard pressed to do anything. Um, and I might be wrong. You might be able to do all this stuff with Unitrack, but I guarantee you I couldn't afford the turnouts for Unitrack. Um, the turnouts for the inside of this one's gonna be something. But I'm looking forward to doing it. I'm thinking that see, one of the biggest things that I was having a lot of trouble with, and I don't see exactly. So John, you've got the crossovers you have are bottom left and bottom right, correct? If I see that's where they're crossing over, I think I see you have the them cross, and I did want it to cross over. I don't have any crossovers on my layout currently now. And yeah, I was trying to put them in somewhere different, and it wasn't working out right. But so what I keep doing is I keep coming in to the bottom line from the left hand side. I keep coming in, and I can go in there, I can back up there, I can go up in there, then if I go in there, I can go there and there, then I can go back around here. It's crazy. But what I want to do is I'm going to get oh yeah, it will, and it's going to be a matter of time. And what I'm going to be hard pressed for is I'm going to start wanting to pull some of my turnouts from downstairs, and I don't really want to do that. That's not going to be what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to just take my time with it. And here's the thing, um, all these tables will be removable. You know what I mean? I'm gonna set it up where I can pull them all off and take them to the next place I move to if and when I move. And it could be that that doesn't end up working out and I don't decide to do that in the end, it could be that, it could be 10 years from now and I've had this layout done for a while and I'm ready to move on from this one too. But I am gonna have it where I can take it. That's the purpose of it all being in 2x4 tables. Now, well, I would hope so. I would hope so. Um, One of the things that I'm looking forward to as well, we got the new Mardi Gras Express, the Amtrak's coming through here now, and at the beginning of October, we're taking the train over from here to New Orleans. Yes, he did, Kyle. He did. And it is awesome. I mean, like I say, I've spent a little time coloring through it, and I haven't figured out everywhere I can go. Thank you, JD. I haven't figured out everything I can do with it. Now, one of the things that I see that I might would do, but it might would take up some scenery room too, is I might would extend some of the tracks that are stopping a little bit longer, just maybe so I could get a longer train in there, but it might not be needed anyway. Because what you could do is, I guess what you can do is you can come in here and grab stuff and then take it and put it on like a track that's kind of waiting, a longer track that's waiting, and then you go back around and you can load your train up longer that way, right? Am I right, John? Because there is like a couple really long spurs in there, and I guess you could run cars around to them and set up. You could probably pull cars from different areas and set them up and set in place. Yeah, there's some real long places, and I guess you wouldn't close yourself off from everything. It looks really well thought out to me. And see, the runarounds would be really cool. Like, see, that would be fun, like to do a live stream on something like this. You could probably stream for hours doing that mess. Yes, sir. Pico Code 80. And then, again, y'all, I've got the... here's the... It'd be good if I had them side by side, I guess, but then they'd be even smaller. I think he's insinuating you came up with a puzzle. I was thinking you were gonna come up with something good, John, but that's really, really, really impressive to me. I don't know how your brain can even think on that kind of many steps. So here's what y'all need to do now. If you intended to bother John for his services for helping you with your design, your layouts, here's the key to his heart. He likes steaks, Omaha steaks, not that Wagyu ragu stuff. He likes American beef. All right, send him American beef in the mail to his house, and then ask him for help. You'll probably be all right. Hit me up means hit me up. Oh yeah. Okay. But yeah, we don't need none of that fancy Wagyu stuff. Just give him some Omaha beef. But what I was thinking is probably even would be good. Yeah, let's see. I'm curious about this too, Norman. I don't know that answer. the cool thing is I will be able to reach all these turnouts. I won't have to have tortoises and stuff on any of these. Um, Now, I would imagine John wouldn't have problems with Canadian beef. He just probably don't want any Wagyu. That would be, John would rather have the money. So it doesn't matter. All right. Well, what I would like to do is remain as cost efficient as possible, but I assume that it's going to be difficult to do with this in general. But when like I said, I kind of, I had a lot of repetition and monotony in any of the ops that I was doing, and I really wanted to have. That's one of the main things I asked him was, I didn't want it to be the same op over and over and over, and so I asked him to look at that, and boy did he. And I thank him for that. And so what I'm planning on doing is just saving up, looking around. I'm gonna have to find probably I've got the room's 19 by 18, and so what I'm gonna need to do, I want to go ahead and get an indoor outdoor carpet out there, and so I'm probably gonna need to get like two 20-foot by 10-foot pieces off of a roll from a warehouse, and yeah, they've gone up a little. But I figure if I get if I get two rolls of 20 by 10, I don't have much cutting to do. I'll have one seam in there, and once I'm able to get the indoor outdoor carpet in there, then I can really build the first 8 tables and start working, or put the first 4 against the wall and build the other 4 and start working. And then I'm really good, like I said, Bob, until about April, when it starts to get hot again, and then I'm going to have to come up with an air conditioning solution out there. And because it'll start getting too hot to be out there like that. And I don't have a lot of ventilation, so it is something that it's something that I'll have solved before I move forward, like how I'm gonna do it, but I won't have to do it until next year, middle of next year, like about April. So should be able to do that. As far as these tables that I'm going to be making, what do y'all recommend for the legs? I've had people recommend 1x4s, or I think 1x4s, and do them in a T, or not a T, an L. No, it'll be dedicated to the railroad. There won't be anything else in there. There'll be some storage stuff in there temporarily, but like I said, I'm gonna have to decide how I handle and I don't have to do anything at this point, which is nice. I've been able to, fortunately, I could migrate everything that was in the garage to, like, kind of 1/4 of it. And so I've got a little refrigerator and a couch and stuff anywhere out there, and then on the other side, I've got like all my boxes and stuff to ship out for when I sell models. And so probably the first thing I'm going to be doing once I get the tables built, or even leading up to that, is rip 3/4 ply, 2/4 screw glue into an L, and then add adjustable legs. Adjustable legs, you think, huh? 1x3 and 1x2 should be plenty strong. Alright. So you put the 1x3 inside the 1x2, so it's really 1x3 on both ways, right? And then maybe have supports around the. Would you think two supports around, or just one set in the middle? L girdle style. Birch ply is more stable and have adjustable feet. Birch ply. I want to look at that. One time you used adjustable feet. What are those? Is it just like a piece of hardware that like a shoe almost? And is that for an L girder, or is that just for a single piece? John, didn't you use or suggest or think about using metal legs one time? Adjustable cabinet feet. You use metal legs on my first layout. If you take it off, yeah, I was thinking about. I mean, and there's gonna be a problem where it connects to the wall, scenery connecting. You know how where the scenery kind of attaches to the wall, and that pulls apart. I mean, and also where every table connects. You know, is really there's gonna be there would be damage everywhere there, or I'm basically going. You would be able to see the adjustable would be needed too because the garage is not level, sloped to the door. Ah, that's a good idea. And one thing I'm going to be doing, and that what I didn't think about though. I can handle that the ones against the wall, the ones that are attached to the wall, because I'll use a level. But I didn't think about that with the tables with the legs. That's a good. I'm glad y'all thought about it. Said that, because I wouldn't. I would have made them exact, and that would have been a problem. Yeah. So I was thinking, and it's not anything that I'm gonna plan for or worry about that much. But I was thinking where every 2x4 table connects, there's gonna be either a seam or when you break it down, there's gonna be damage to your scenery there, one or the other. And then when you put it back together, it might look like crap. So I don't know. Um, and it might be that it might be kind of silly to think that you can make a layout like we want them. Yeah, you have a good night. It might be silly to think we can make a layout look realistic like we would like ours to look, and think you could break it down and take it away and put it back up and without it, you know, and not notice. I don't know that that's possible. Good to see you, Adam. Um, so I mean, that could be something to think about too, um, because if I, let's say for example I wasn't going to make the layout portable, or where I could take it out. I could do a lot of different things with a lot of different size pieces of wood and things like that, and I wouldn't have one of the things that I really don't want. Have a good one, JP. One of the things I really don't want is I would rather not have the layout be square. You know, I would like to have the tables rounded and have not have corners, have rounded edges and things like that. And if I want rounded edges and things like that, I'm probably not going to be able to make it where it can be moved, and it's going to probably have to be made more permanent to do that. So that's some other stuff that I probably need to consider over the course of the next month or so before I get moving. Um, there's I really haven't done anything at this point. I haven't made any commitments that are too far for me to back out of and stuff. And so that's kind of what the purpose of this discussion, and I'm going to have more on here and come on some here and there and just kind of ask for advice and things. Because, like I said, I thought the other day, it struck me when I was doing the measurements or thinking about the wood that I needed to make the tables for the legs, that if I put the tables against the wall, the ones on the walls with the angle brackets, right? And then I built the tables. And then I put the outdoor carpet in. Well, if I matched the tables to the wall level before I put in the outdoor carpet, indoor-outdoor carpet, then put the indoor-outdoor carpet in, the tables wouldn't be matching. And so I didn't think about that until just the other day when I was going through things. So that's the purpose of us talking through all this stuff, to kind of keep me from making mistakes and costing myself a lot more money. And he really had me thinking on those things as well. Those metal legs, because they're adjustable. You bolt those tables together, right, John? And so there is not really a seam, although I guess when you took them apart, you're still going to have a seam with your scenery. You're either going to have a seam all the time, or you're going to have a seam when you take it apart. And I don't know that you could probably repair that and make it look good. Can you make a full-size layout that's can be broken down and put up somewhere else and not look like crap? I'm beginning to wonder if that's possible. And if that's not possible, then it could be that I might need to think things through a little bit. I would love to have the table to be rounded and not square. To have all those no 90-degree angles. I would love not to have 90-degree angles on the layout. And I guess if you do that, that's when you do tables that overlap the frame enough where you can cut arcs in the corners. Well, it in regard to being complicated, it's the very first 4x6 section. Nothing else has been designed. All that's been designed is this that you're looking at here, and this right here. And this is flipped, unfortunately. We're looking at, if we would be, the wall would be on the bottom. The door coming out of the garage would be coming from the left-hand side. What would be, you'd be walking in on the left-hand side, there's Union Station, and we'd be heading west on that bottom line down there around. And then the area that John designed is right there in the middle. And nothing else on the layout has been designed up through, just to this wall and this turnaround in that area right here. And then even the Union Station area on the left has not been designed yet. So yeah, we're just in the exactly. So and Steve, that's kind of what I would like to do. I don't like to have those 90-degree angles and stuff on there, and so it really, for me to be perfectly happy with the layout, it wouldn't have them at all, and so I might slow down a little bit, and I could still do, and the layout will basically would look still just like this, this part of it. All we would be doing is just getting rid of this top left angle would go, the next one going down would go, well, all the tips that you would see, well, you wouldn't have to do anything on these. And then what about these corners that go in? Do you leave those corners, or what do you do? I guess you could take the corner you cut off one of the other top corners and glue it in the other corner, couldn't you? Couldn't you do that? Couldn't you cut the top left corner in an arc and then glue it into one of the other, flip it over and glue it into one of the undersides ones? Did that make any sense? Yeah, that's what I was talking about. But I would love to have it smooth and not. Yeah, see, I think that's the way to do it. Something. I don't know if I'd use a Dremel for that. I think you're fooling me, Dwight. That's what I would think. You could just reuse the one you cut. Oh. I'll check that out, James. So if you don't have any 90-degree angles, and you know what I'm talking about. And then I could still do, I don't know what I would do. Thing is, they've got the, although I could still, I've got uses for them all over the place, but they've got those little 2 foot by 4 foot pieces of wood. They're $5. Hard to beat that. I think an 4 by 8 sheet is like $28, and you can get 4 of the little ones for $20. A router would give you the best look on the edge. Well, I guess one of the situations that the problems that I'm having is I do know that I probably won't be here forever. I mean, I could be, but I guess I would be here long enough to start a new one. I mean, in the way I'm doing it anyway. I mean, I enjoy building and learning and filming and all that stuff anyway. I don't like to get to the end of stuff. I want to keep building. So, I'm going to do something. I just don't know how I'm going to handle it exactly. But the general the general idea is we're going to be doing something like this. And we're going to be starting it out looking like it is right there. And it could be that I don't use the 2 foot by 4 foot tables, and that I use those for maybe I do have a couple ideas. Jigsaw, if you want to round off, that's what I was thinking. And then use the cuts to round the inside corners. That's what I was thinking. And so what do? You just basically, you build the frame of the table underneath, 6 inches or so inside of it. Or do you kind of work it where the outside has that gap, but where 2 tables meet, it's flush? So would my frame go all the way to the outside where it's going to meet another table in another frame, but where it's going to meet the outside, would I leave 6 inches or so I'd have the place to cut the arc? Well, I found 2x4 pieces of wood for $5, Norman. Oh well, they've already got the legs though. I hear what you're saying. I don't know that that would be very sturdy though. Have joist sliding out the curve. Have joist sticking out of the curve edges. Oh, okay. Oh, that's smart, Dave. You cut it first, then make the frame. Duh. That's smart, and I don't know why I wouldn't have thought of that, but I sure didn't. And that's okay. That's okay. I actually feel like though I feel like the way I was talking about doing it, though, the way I led that I wanted to do it, Dave was saying right, but I think it could be done the other way too. Um, I just feel like what I would be able to do by doing it the way Dave's saying is once I cut them all and pieced them all together, I would know where the tables would meet and how far I could bring the frame out exactly. And I mean, I guess I could figure that by drawing initially anyway. You could probably do it either way. But I feel like the Dave's way might be a little more dummy proof, which is good for me. But I'm like the first thing I'm gonna do. I mentioned this. I'm gonna be going back through my model of Union Station, and I'm gonna be because I did that what 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago, and I've obviously learned more about Tinkercad um, since then, and so I'm gonna go back through my old Union Station design and revamp it. It might be that I end up needing to scrap the old one and just redoing it, but just it might be harder to fix with the old bad habits I used to have than it is to just do a new one. But I'm not gonna be using the one that's on the layout now. I am gonna be doing another one, and I want to go ahead and get a good design on that and redo another one and film building the new one and all that stuff. So I'm going to start with that. I'm going to build a new Union Station and put it in there, and then kind of work my way around. Um, Mainly new buildings. I'm gonna use the old buildings that I have when they fit, but I'm not gonna put them in there just to put them in there. Because I'd like to have new content, new buildings, new ads for those buildings on Etsy and eBay, etc. and so on. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And if I'm not mistaken, wait, stop the clock. Are you building? Yeah, the old one's fine, Kyle. It's just the shed's getting old, and I spent a week this summer reinforcing it. And in doing that, I went through the rest of it, and I realized there's going to be more of that to come. And I've got a lot of possibilities down there on that layout that aren't functional right now. Like I've got many places down there that need to be reworked so the turnouts are functional. I've got a lot of turnouts that are functional, but I've got just as many that aren't. And I've got just as many that I can't reach. I need tortoises in there. So I'm kind of starting to question, should I invest a lot more money down there, knowing the shed's getting older and requiring the floor's getting weak, and this kind of the other. The walls are getting old. It's just a shed. And so also my daughter's getting older, and she doesn't like to go hang out in the shed like she used to when she was 5. So the garage is right here. It's connected to the house. Once I put air in there, I'll be able to keep the door open, and it'll be just like I'm in the house with everybody else. Won't be, disconnected and that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's still there, still fine, nothing wrong with it, still running, still can do everything I could do a year ago, but no more. And it would cost me 500-600 bucks, really. I don't know, 500-600 bucks. I would say if I had $500, I could get and some time, I could get some more functionality out of the layout. There's some turnouts and some turnarounds and stuff that I just don't get to use because I can't reach them and need tortoises. And I don't know if I'm going to invest the money in making that one any bigger or better, or if I'd rather just do something up here in the main house new. But I do wanna, yeah, and it's all gonna be like I said. I can go down there and need to. I can go down there and film shorts right now. I got a little. I've been doing some turnout work down there though, and even on my main line now, I've messed up a little bit of. I've worked on one turnout so much trying to get it to work backing into the spur that I've got the main line messed up a little bit, so I do have a little work to go down there. But yeah, everything's fine down there, and I mean I've even cleaned it up real good down there recently, and I could go down there and shoot trains, shoot videos for trains right now if I wanted to. But well, it's what I'm kind of figuring out too is like I've shot most of those shots and run most of those runs and got most of those angles and done them over and over and over, and I'm kind of getting it just seems to be getting, I'm not getting tired of it, but it seems to be getting like repetitive. Like I'm like, okay, I've kind of done this short before and maybe done it more than once before, even though it was a year ago and 2 years ago. There's just only so many, so many shots, so many angles, so many different ops you can think of, particularly when I've only got half my stuff working. So, John, who is next week? Is it you? You're next week, right, John? I think John is next week. He's usually the first week of the month, and so I assume he is. And and what we got coming up for me though, the beginning of October, I'm going to be taking the, yeah, great. Okay, so next week, 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock train time, we will be at Sidetrack Sunday on Schuylkill River Valley. And what you got coming up from my channel is we're going to be taking the Amtrak from here to New Orleans and back at the beginning of October, and I hope to get some really good footage doing that. I know they do have a car on the back that's got huge windows and picture windows and all that stuff, but I know it's really expensive. I don't know if they'll let me go back there just to film or not, haha. But I'm sure everybody asks that. But I'm hoping to go get some good film on that, and I'll pass that on to y'all. I mean, I know like it's there's a bridge that goes over the bay and all that stuff on that ride. So hey, GRE 2057, and we're gonna have to after when you want to change something. I understand what you're saying, but yeah, so I'm hoping to do that. And I've also got some content coming up. I'm going to be doing a couple of the Italian restaurants, that 5-story restaurant I have with the bar on the top. I got 2 of those in HO I'm doing weathered versions of for somebody, and I'll be putting some footage out on that, maybe doing some live streams on that. And I'll see each and every one of y'all at hopefully at John's on next Sunday. I'll try to make it for that. Sundays at this time are kind of bad for me if I've got to go to school, because we're getting ready for the school week. And although my little one's starting to get older and bedtime's getting a little bit later, so that's starting to help. But you guys have a great one. I do appreciate y'all coming out and supporting the channel and supporting the show Sidetrack Sunday. I want to thank those guys for allowing me to be part of it. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Y'all have a good evening. All right, everybody. Take care.